New video, another video. So I wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about being the person when it comes to your fitness journey, right? Whether you're trying to build muscle, whether you're trying to lose fat, whether you're trying to build strength, compete, whatever that may be when it comes to fitness in context. We're all talking about fitness in context in this video is being that person. Now, what does it mean when I say like being that person? So one of the things that like really troubled me throughout the time when I was losing a lot of weight is for some reason, well, not some reason, but there's a reason why I always thought that I was gonna be, that big guy. I was always gonna be fat. I was always gonna be this person. I was always gonna be this overweight individual, right? And that weird, deep meaning that I had for that, for some reason, I had a belief that that was always gonna be me, right? So what happened, what changed, what are some of the things that I did, when it came to overcoming that so I can finally be the person, not finally be the person, but move more into that leaner type of person that doesn't have to struggle his whole life with, gaining fat, losing weight, and stuff like that, right? So one of the things is, like I always say in my videos, man, is you have to experiment. You have to experiment with different types of things. And because usually it's weird, but we make everything hard on ourselves, bro. It's kind of weird how we do it. I still haven't figured out sometimes why we make it hard on ourselves, because I think we have a meaning, or I think we have this sense of, fitness has to be super hard. It has to be grueling. It has to be chicken, broccoli, and rice and starvation in order for us to go from 300 pounds all the way down to 200, because I was basically almost 300 pounds at my max weight, at my lowest being 158. And I felt like one of the biggest changes that have helped me was doing the things that the leanest version of myself would be doing. And you really got to think about that too, man, because if you're not doing the things, like for example, when I mean doing the things, I'm talking about you got to be experimenting. And I always say this in tons of videos, is you have to experiment. You have to try different things. You have to try different things in order to maintain that calorie deficit. You know what I mean? And sometimes you do have to take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward. Sometimes when you're losing fat and you've reached that wall over a certain amount of time, you do have to be in a calorie maintenance for about a week or two, and then to get back on your calorie deficit. But, in essence, really having to be that person, you have to do the things that he does. Like, for example, you can just but be real with what are some of the things that this leanest version of myself is going to be doing. You know what I mean? What kind of foods does he eat? What kind of habits does he have? What kind of what kind of foods, what kind of habits, what kind of fitness, and what kind of things does he do habitually is what's going to help you along your journey. And I feel like sometimes we feel like habits are going to be super hard to build. But in reality, bro, I think one of the things is that we live in the age of information, man. I know I've said this 1,000 times, and I also said it 1,000,000 times in the previous video, but we have so much information at our disposal. There's going to be a lot of things that we can do. There's going to be a lot of different things that we can try and experiment with, right? And I know it sometimes might be a little bit overwhelming, especially because there's so much out there. But I feel like, you know what you can do, like what you can try, you know what I mean? Like, you'll see a video that'll really resonate with you, because for me, intermittent fasting really resonated with me. I like to push because for me right now I'm doing 1 meal a day OMAD, and that really resonated with me, right? That's something that I feel like I can do. I tried it and it really worked and I enjoyed it, and I feel like the same thing for you, man. Like, if you feel like keto will work for you, try it. If you feel like veganism will help you just for the fat loss version of your life, try it. If you feel like doing different types of things, because you'll know what will resonate. Like, your body, your mind will already tell you or show you or put you in that right position to start doing things and start experimenting with certain tools when it comes to fitness to help you maintain that consistency, because that's really what we're all trying to do, man. We're all trying to be much more consistent along our fitness journey. We're trying to figure out what works best for us. And that's something that I feel like you do have to also not realize, but I guess realize and understand, man, that it's always changing. There's always going to be something that we can do in order to maintain that consistency. So basically, like, the video of doing the things that are going to make you maintain that consistency, you just have to do it. Now, if you don't feel like doing it, if you don't want to do it, you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of different things that you can do, so do it. You know, I'm kind of running around in circles here, but you gotta know what I mean, man. You know, if you find that if you have the financial means, get a trainer. You know, if you have the financial means, you know, buy a diet plan, buy the meal prep, try all of these different types of things, because over time, whether it works or not, you'll understand what works best for you. You know what I mean? Like for me, I don't like to do the 6 meals per day. You know, I don't like to do the 2-3 meals per day. You know what I mean? When it comes to fat loss, right? But recently, and over the past course of the months, I've been having to build muscle. You know, not having to, but I've been building muscle. And one of the things I realized was you can't build muscle as much as you want eating 1 meal a day or eating 2 meals a day. You might build some muscle, but not as much as you can if you're eating 3, 4, 5 meals spread out throughout the day, keeping up that protein synthesis. So that's one thing that I knew that I had to change in order to be that much more muscular version of myself, because you're always changing. There's always going to be different things, right? So that's kind of like also another problem, not a problem, but something that I've been easing into that I haven't really been so forward on. You know what I mean? Because I was still in the mindset of losing fat, keeping your calories later on during the day. But now, as I'm wanting to build muscle, as I wanted to get more muscle on my frame and improve my performance with calisthenics, you know, eating throughout the day is going to help me much more and be much more optimal for the consistency long term. And it wasn't easy in the beginning, right? But also at the same time, you know, it doesn't have to be that hard. Like, it doesn't have to be that like difficult. You know, you can make the meals taste good. You can make the meals easy to access. You don't, like it makes it. There's tons of different things you can do to make it much more easier throughout the fat loss journey, throughout the building muscle journey, whether it be, you know, even anything, you know, along the fitness journey. So doing the things, in essence, is what's going to help you be that person overall, right? Because I've been trying to learn much more so on like the being aspect of things, you know, instead of judging yourself and doing all of this stuff and thinking that it has to be hard. It doesn't have to be so freaking hard, right? And I'm not saying that there's no such thing as discipline and things like that and things won't get hard, because I mean, building muscle isn't super, it's not easy, you know what I mean? It's a lot more painful than it is with, you know, losing fat, right? So, you know, that's pretty much it for the video, man. Just want to steer you into the direction of do the things, you know. And I know I talk a lot about fat loss and stuff like that on my channel, and being consistent with that, you know, because once you start doing more of these things, once you start experimenting more, once you start doing different things that'll help you, or that will essentially, whether they work or not, give you much more data to be more consistent with your calorie deficit, calorie maintenance, calorie surplus, whatever that may be in your situation right now. So do the things, you know, and as soon as, like, because I'm still learning about this, right? Like, doing the things will help you be much more into that frame. It'll get you much more into that sense of being the person that you are evolving into, or the person that you're trying to be in order to get this result for, you know, fitness and stuff like that, right? So pretty much it for this video. Y'all take care. Peace.